you shower and hope that's enough to prevent BO all day. Instead of crossing my fingers, I now use Mando whole body deodorant. Showering removes odor, but because of the high pH in soap, your body odor is going to come back with a vengeance. By lowering your skin's pH, Mando helps to keep your body smelling fresh for longer. Mando is clinically proven to help control odor for up to 72 hours. So start using Mando whole body deodorant anywhere for long-lasting odor control. Here's the deal. All new customers get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack. Just use the code Chael at shopmando.com. I personally love how many options Mando offers. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for use on the go. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code Chael at shopmando.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Or just click on the link below. 6th grade, Wood Middle School. My partner on the project was Justin Wolf, and we had record players. Do you guys even know what a record player is? This is how you got music back then. You could listen live on something called the radio, which was your one and only option. Or if you wanted recorded sound, there's something called a record. And where this became interesting is it was the first time ever, and our assignment was to listen to a record, to write down the words of the lyrics, and then to interpret what they mean. I just remember at that age, I had no idea what interpret meant or why they would possibly want us to do that. Why do I need to interpret the words? Like, knowing the words is enough. Memorizing the words. Standing in front of a class and saying the words. But as we got through that lesson, and I went myself and Justin went, and we listened to the other students, we didn't all have the same opinion. And now all of a sudden interpretation was fun because it could turn into an argument and even a debate. I heard some words that I'm trying to interpret, but I don't know if I like them. I don't know if I hate them. I don't know if they were helpful. I'm on the fence because I might love them. And I might hate him. I mean, it's one of these situations. Hear me out, because it has to do with your heavyweight class. Jon Jones comes out. He's talking about Tom Aspinall. And Jon simply asks a question. Jon's question, but he poses it as a question. He says, isn't it equally as selfish for an interim champion, 28 years old, could be 26, you get the point, but he states Tom's age, not defending, sit around and waiting for the result of a 42-year-old versus a 36-year-old. Now, Jon is the 36-year-old, Stipe is the 42-year-old, or at least they will be at the time that this match is scheduled to take place, which is now rumored for potentially Madison Square Garden in November. Okay. Let's go through that a little bit quicker. Jon Jones says, isn't it equally as selfish for a 28-year-old interim champion to not defend, not give somebody else the opportunity? So without hearing what was posed to Jon, it's pretty clear that somebody accused Jon of being selfish for not giving the belt back or for not committing to take on somebody should he have success with Stipe. But therefore, Jon is selfish. And I got to tell you right out of the gate why that's a little bit of a problem. I have to tell you, it's not Jon's choice. Jon has not chosen to keep that belt. Jon knows full well when you're hurt, sometimes they take it. And Jon himself, knowing he wasn't going to return, already in his career has returned a belt once. He has. That happened. So it's very hard to put that on Jon. And we just generally don't ever do that when a guy's hurt. We just show him grace. I mean, Francis Ngannou was out with a bum knee and in a contract dispute. The contract dispute, which generally would be enough to yank it, wasn't done because grace was showed because an injury was at the same time. And I'm just sharing that with you. We were told about Francis's knee. Guys, we got a video of Jon. We saw it was one of the, he filmed it. We got it. So I'm just bringing it to you for Jon to come out and ask that question. That is interesting because it's not the same, is it? In theory, Tom Aspinall could give the belt back. Couldn't he? Well, maybe he couldn't. Could he give the belt back, but stay in the company, stay in the testing pool, stay looking for fights, stay at the heavyweight class, stay healthy? Could he give the belt back? And before you tell me, oh, yes, of course you can. Khabib tried, and they didn't take it. Khabib tried 3 different times, and they didn't take it. So, it's a pretty interesting question by Jon. I don't know that it was meant to be this sophisticated and in-depth, but this is you'd have to get Mark Ratner himself. You would have to get Mark Ratner, who is in charge of government affairs, and ask him these types of questions. Could Tom Aspinall give the belt back? While staying in the class, staying healthy, staying in the division, like actively pursuing and looking for a fight, could he give the belt back? Can he give the interim belt back any more than he could deny that interim championship being elevated to the undisputed championship should Jon Jones not return? I don't think he can. No, I don't think so. I think he could say it. I think it would be very symbolic. I do not believe the media would need to observe that. Okay, great. Now, before we go too far down that road, okay, Stipe also made a comment. And you're not going to accuse Stipe of coming out and manipulating the media and or the fans' hearts and minds in a promotional and dramatic type way. Like, you're just not going to accuse him of that. Now, in my presence, you're not going to accuse Stipe of anything bad because that is blasphemy, in my opinion. I want my son to grow up and be Stipe Miocic, right? I mean, but you're still not going to accuse Stipe of outsmarting the media. And Stipe said something. I'm going, okay, wait a minute. How did you mean this? Because there's a chance it was just Stipe talking, but there's a chance for the first time ever he put a strategy together. Stipe comes out and he says, right, and this is just like Justin and I on the old record play. We got to rewind the record. It's not like a tape where you can just push the rewind button, right? A record's a whole nother thing to get these words right. You got to get the words before you can interpret them. And Stipe says, I don't care about the championship. I want Jon Jones. That just changed the entire argument. Stipe just changed the entire argument. If anybody, of course he wants the championship, of course he wants it. He has put his eggs in the basket of, they are more likely to rebook me with somebody else. They are more likely to offer me Tom Aspinall than they are to strip Jon. So therefore, I won't talk about the belt at all. I'm going to attach myself to this guy. I mean, after all, let's imagine he said it in reverse and he goes, hey, man, I don't give a damn about Jon Jones. Like, this isn't personal. I know you guys think this is about the world championship. It's my championship. He was 205 pounds. That's my championship. And I'm coming to take it back. Well, if he married himself to that statement, then Dana simultaneously he could come out of the press conference, announce that Jon has been stripped, Tom has been elevated, so obviously it's Stipe versus Tom, obviously. Not even my doing, that was Stipe's doing. Did you guys hear what he said? All he cares about is the championship. So the championship goes over here, Stipe goes, do you see where this was such a good move? If, in fact, it could have just been words, right? Like, even a broken clock is right twice a day. But was it? Did Stipe just figure one out? There's nothing you can do with either statement. Jon Jones comes out and says Tom Aspinall is being just as selfish, he's younger, and he's waiting on the result of a 42-year-old and a 36-year-old. So if you don't like Jon, that's a negative statement Jon just made about himself. So if you don't like Jon, you then are forced to agree with his statement. Well, you can't agree with the person that you don't like, but he just made you. Because he just and he kind of turned the gun on himself a little bit. It's very interesting. And then Stipe, who everybody's talking about, hey, you got to get him going, you got to get him going. I mean, listen, guys, yes, Jon and Stipe is the fight, but if you want to talk about a poster for the next best thing, it actually isn't. It actually isn't Stipe and Tom. It's not even Tom and Surreal. Surreal's the common denominator, but think of a poster that's going to pop and people are going to go, whoa, and start having arguments on who's going to win and what that fight's going to look like, and that's probably only going to go a couple rounds. It's Surreal versus Stipe. That's the fight. That's the one to make if you had to make one outside of Jon. Well, Stipe just cut off a lot of those roads. And I know the wind was blowing in his way. I know that Dana was very respectful. They didn't even use that word. I know that. But everything changes. The landscape changes very fast. And Stipe is a way of making sure that it does not change without him. Just locked himself to a specific opponent as opposed to the title. And when guys generally make that choice, right, if it can be both of them, everybody wins. But when guys generally make the choice, they make the choice of the title, not the guy. But you see where Stipe's move here was so important and so effective. Now the question is just, did he get one right on accident? Or did Stipe have a great strategy?